So we're here outside of Internet Retailer Boston 2009, and we're with Jack Kiefer, who's the founder, president, and CEO of BabyH.com. And we're going to ask him a few questions. He spoke here today, and we think that he's got some good insights into what's going on in digital marketing today. So first of all, Jack, one of the things that, obviously you confront every day is how do you understand what competitors are doing, and what are you doing that's different out there to try to increase market share and awareness about BabyH.com?
It's really an approach that we take in a multi-prong. So evaluating the competitive market space is one thing, but evaluating how you profitably acquire customers is another. And as we look at historically over the 11, almost 12 years that we've been in business, there's been most likely every 18 months to 24 months a paradigm shift in the way customers are interested in finding products online. So if you go back into the late 90s, if you didn't have an AOL anchor tenancy, then you weren't found. So in 99, I think we were spending probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about $100,000 a month for a tenancy in the baby channel of AOL, and that was effective for us, and we had the right conversion rate. But not too long after people got the training wheels off of AOL, they started to find things like Yahoo. So we started to advertise on Yahoo. The next kind of shift after that was shopping comparison, and that was the first attempt to really get competitive products together or similar products together from multiple retailers, and that was a very effective channel for the better part of almost 2 years. And then the next kind of morph after that was Google, which was a broader search tool which really kind of began to fill the craving for consumers looking for information. And Google, at least for BabyH, has really lost its effectiveness. We've cut our spend from almost $100,000 a month down to $30,000 a month over the last 18 months. And we've kept the revenue the same. So what we've done is instead of just doing broad-brushed CPC marketing, we've gone after very specific time-of-day targeting, geo-targeting, and really, lots of people say focus on the long tail, but that's what we do.
And how do you go about to make some of those geo-targeting decisions, and how do you use data to do that? What are some of if you were going to try to give somebody some advice on that, what would you say?
Know your customer, and by knowing your customer, we know that our customers have household incomes above $75,000, and we know from our historical buying data that they're suburban and urban. So it's really just knowing your customer. I'm sure that there are lots of other ways to do it, and sometimes it doesn't seem very sophisticated by the way we make these determinations, but what we've been able to do is to profitably continue to grow the business, sometimes 1.5 to 2 times in growth a year, which is fairly substantial growth.
You had mentioned a little earlier something about social media and how that's changed what you do. Can you give us some sort of example of that?
Sure. I think any retailer who doesn't really understand the impact of something like a Facebook is missing it. And it's all too often that you hear early on, especially at trade shows and kind of in the internet retailing world, people want to be first to a new channel or first to a new medium. And we take an approach where we're interested in dabbling, and we're interested in kind of grassroots efforts. So you look at the impact of something like a Facebook. MySpace was first to the market, but from our perspective is a very ineffective medium for us to either interact or acquire customers. And then you look at the second to market, which is Facebook, which I think has made a really profound impact on bringing together groups of people who think alike, whether it's a friend base or an affinity group. So really, what's old is what's new again. So you can go back into the early days of the web and look at affinity websites like iVillage or like Baby Center, and now you're seeing that really that was kind of the golden goose. It's really getting like-minded people together, and that's what social media has done. But there was a huge hype and buzz in social media over the past 2.5, 3 years. And what you found is whether it's somebody like Perez Hilton who's built a brand online, I don't know if I'm that interested in reading Johnny down the street's blog about his dog walking, but you find that people who develop good content and who build affinity-based websites eventually build up the user base that I'm interested in marketing. So we have 3 blogs that we've been running. They're very effective. They don't generate a lot of revenue, but it's still what it's given us the ability to do over the past 3 years is find a cost-effective way to build a content repository, and then over time, through grassroots efforts, we'll build the affinity group, and then we'll begin to generate ROI from that.
And you're still looking at your competitors, and we talked earlier about not necessarily some of the things they're doing well, but what they're doing poorly. How do you go about doing that?
A lot of the research that I do is based online, or it's based through tools like Alexa or other tools online that will give you just a general gauge of top keywords that they buy, or traffic that they get, or sites where people click in and out. So that's interesting data. And then we also try to evaluate what they're doing wrong, because more often than not, understanding how your competitors are ineffectively advertising is almost more value than understanding where they're being effective. We know, for example, that anybody who's ever done a large CPM deal with BabyCenter.com has sooner or later gone bankrupt. So whether it's Right Start, or whether it was Baby Universe, or a few others. So we know that whatever of our competitors jump into that deal, it's almost a kiss of death. So it's a really understanding your competitors is a factor of a couple of things. It's understanding the space, understanding your customer, using some tools to do the evaluation, and then we do competitive matrices. So we know that there are some of our competitors who only advertise and shop in comparison. There are other competitors who only do affinity-based marketing. And then there's a couple of others who take a more broad-based approach like we do. And you really have to run a very tightly well-defined competitive matrix, and then try to continue to just find data wherever you can find it. And anti-data, or negative performing data, is almost as valuable as positive performing data.
Great, Jack. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the event, and we'll catch up with you later.
Thank you.